Today, I'm going to show you how to go from being, well, in most cases, potentially a struggling face-to-face agent to selling final expense over the phone without leaving your home and potentially being on target to make over $200,000 per year in just 2 weeks. As a seasoned, top-producing final expense, well, old-school face-to-face agent, trust me guys, when I tell you that things are a lot different today than they were just a few years ago. And yes, now is the perfect time to like this video and subscribe if you're new. We're putting out new insurance sales training content every week. Matter of fact, guys, if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get our new free telesales agent file, which has sales materials that you're absolutely going to want to use for selling final expense insurance over the phone. Back to what I was saying about how our industry is completely different today as compared to what it was like just a few short years ago. Direct mail leads, which is known to be the best lead there is for face-to-face sales, is so expensive nowadays that I have to say, for face-to-face sales, it's no longer even viable. The appointment ratio is not even close to what it used to be. The closing rate for face-to-face sales is lower than ever, and agents are putting in more work hours and more travel time than they've ever done, only to make fewer presentations and less money than I've seen in like 15 years. So I guess the question is, what's the next step? Telesales, baby, bam! And the nice thing about selling final expense remotely, over the phone, is that if you have the right calendar appointment Facebook ad system, a talented producer with a strong work ethic can and will make over $200,000 per year. No more driving around, no more banging on doors, no more going into bad neighborhoods, just a whole lot of smiling and dialing. And of course, the independent agents are the ones making the money. So how do you make the switch from face-to-face to final expense telesales? Well, first off, you're going to need a few very important things, starting with a proven telesales presentation script. And believe it or not, guys, the right script can and will make a big difference in your outcome. And yeah, a really good telesales presentation should make it easy for you to spend plenty of time, getting to know the prospect, which will help you to build a lot of rapport and will inadvertently guide the prospect right into picking an option that they can actually afford to pay each month. So that way they're comfortable handing you their personal information, like the social security number and their checking account information. You'll also need to have a solid grasp on using basic technology while you're multitasking. Just remember, it's not like you're calling people, from your smartphone or from some landline. The entire sales process is all done speaking through your CRM, through your computer. Everything's in the cloud nowadays. And yes, you also need to have access to very competitive insurance products with extremely lenient underwriting. There's no one-size-fits-all, guys, when it comes to insurance carriers either. A good independent agent will have at least, I want to say, maybe 6 to 8 insurance companies that they're using, all based on the specific health of the prospect versus, their form of payment. You're going to need good commission levels too. Don't fall into the bait and switch trap that these MLM, the multi-level insurance agencies that have 3 letters are using to bring in agents. They'll tell you that they're starting you at their 100% level. Meanwhile, all the products, or at least most of them, are paying commissions like around 70 or maybe 80%. Man, let me tell you, that's just not cool. And guys, you really need to make sure that you sign on with a company, an agency who does have an open release policy, so that if things don't work out, you can move on and sell insurance somewhere else. And look, there's some of these 3-letter MLM companies will say, oh yeah, we'll release you, but then they're going to want to sign you some completely unethical thing to be released, which basically you're giving up your downline agents or your clients. Unfortunately, not all of your sales will come from people with checking accounts, guys. Approximately, I want to say like 25% of our target final expense market uses either a direct express card, to receive their monthly Social Security benefits, or they use some other type of refillable debit card, like Chime or NetSpend or Green Dot Bank, which Just to be clear, Green Dot Bank is not a bank. Since having the right type of leads is going to be the key to your success, listen up. The only way to have the ability to make several final expense sales presentations per day is to have a system that can guarantee that. Personally, I recommend either taking a few months to learn how to generate your own high intent calendar appointments, through like Facebook ad funnels, or to work with an agency that does that for you, the way that ours does. Honestly, guys, if the agency that you work under doesn't have the right platform, I hate to say it, but the chances of you succeeding at final expense telesales are not going to be very good. And don't get me wrong, final expense TV leads are amazing. But what good are they if you can only get 2 or 3 of them, or maybe even 4 or 5 of them each day? It's just not enough. And you have to get licensed in 30 states to even work with a company to get that amount. Which is why our agency runs the Facebook ads and funnels for our agents, all customized with the agent's personal information. So now, if an agent is wanting to make at least 8 to 10 presentations per day, which is working full time, they can actually do that 5 days per week. And that's what it's all about. If you really want to be on target to make over $200,000 per year, you can't be afraid to spend the necessary money on your business, your insurance business, that will get you there. And you're also going to need to scale your budget. And what I mean is you're going to start wherever you're going to start, and you're going to need to increase it to reach the goal that you're trying to reach. So you can start with an advertising budget of, let's say, $600 or $700 per week. But it's important that you get that weekly ad budget up to, closer to I want to say $1,200 or $1,300, as soon as possible. As long as you have some phone skills and a really good work ethic, making the big bucks could actually come a lot easier than what you may think. Guys, for a copy of the new free telesales agent file that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling final expense and or Medicare Advantage through our platforms, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there or get on that phone and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting. With